It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from the Bronx Brewery and it's their World Gone Hazy IPA. It's an India Pale Ale coming in at 7% ABV in a 440ml can. It was kindly sent to us by Beer Bruvs. What I like about Beer Bruvs is that this is a relatively small brewery in America, the Bronx Brewery, and we get to have it in the UK. What they specialise in is hard to find or smaller kind of niche breweries in America to export over to the UK. It really interests me, that. So without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. I've always been a massive fan of American craft beer, because it was one of those situations when I first started the channel and was drinking craft beer. A lot of the kind of funkier stuff, the IPA stuff that I was interested in 11 years ago. Yes, you could get some of it in the UK. You could pick up something from Thornbridge, Jaipur or Brewdog's Punk IPA. But your brewery down the road, back in those days, didn't brew an awful lot of this style of beer. So you'd have to get it from America. So I've always been kind of heavily influenced, if you like, by the American craft brewery scene. But fast forward 11 years and what a difference. We've got craft bars in Barry now where I live, where you can pick up Verdant and Cloudwater and Daya and that wonderful North Wales brewery that I always seem to forget, but we'll get that. That'll be a moment in my brain now, and that'll come back to me. We've also got Vale of Glamorgan Brewery producing hoppy stuff, and there's loads of breweries in Cardiff producing hoppy stuff. So whereas before it was kind of difficult to get hold of, now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But I started my journey drinking a lot of American craft beer, and I will always be interested in American craft beer. Beer in the glass, 1 to 2 finger whitehead, lovely hazy straw coloured beer. It looks a little bit like mango juice or pineapple juice, grapefruit juice. Looks really good. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is a proper hoppy one. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, one of those New World, New England IPAs. Mango, passion fruit, grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange, pale stone fruits. Let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, gonna put that down. Gonna put that down. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a fantastic beer. Really, really enjoyable beer then. Hoppy, grapefruity, passion fruit, mango. And then it just turns into this super smooth, drinkable experience. There's a little bit of bitterness on the back end. There's a little bit of sweetness to begin with, but all of the flavours are kind of channeling down that middle, down that centre. Where a lot of these New England IPA style beers, they seem to head. Little bit of bitterness, little bit of sweetness, little bit of bitterness, everything's down the middle. All the flavours are down the middle. Lovely bit of lacing on the glass. Extremely drinkable beer. Very refreshing. Carbonation, it's a little bit of carbonation. It's not an overly carbonated beer. Carbonation just slightly eases, pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. Little bit of bitterness now coming through on the back end. Little bit of orange peel, fleshy blood orange. That's really good. Really, 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 really impressed by this. And then going back to it, this is not a sponsored video, by the way. This is just me just happy with the service that Beer Bruvs give you. There they are there. Check them out. Check out their website. And I just like that thought, you know. There's me talking about Vale of Glamorgan Brewery down the road. Difficult for, like, easy for me to get hold of. It's down the road, but difficult for everybody else living in the UK to get hold of. Very difficult indeed, because you never heard of these breweries. It's the same to be said in America. Yes, everybody knows of Sierra Nevada and Stone Brewing Company. And all Cigar City and all of the other weird and wonderful breweries in America that we all know and love. But to say Bronx Brewery, that's fairly new to me. That is fairly new to me. It's a relatively new brewery. So, juicy tropical waves. When the future stops being so clear and the skies above start to swirl, look down at the clouds in your beer to help make some sense of this world. Then you got your government warning on the side. Women shouldn't drive tractors whilst influenced with alcohol. You know, that sort of thing. Brewed by the Bronx Brewery, Bronx, New York. Of course. I mean, I've never been to America, but I've heard of the Bronx. Heard of the Bronx, you know, from the 1980s, I suppose. I suppose it's changed now, but back in those days, you would have heard of the Bronx as being the slightly kind of rough end of New York City. But I imagine things have changed massively now for that area of New York City, and I imagine it's an amazing place to live, work, brew beer, and drink beer. So my final thoughts and a rating on this beer then. Lovely lacing on the glass. Good levels of carbonation as you rock the beer back and forth. It's a nice hazy kind of straw coloured beer. Sorry, a bit of carbonation and just making its way back up. I was trying to hide behind the glass while I was releasing it. Yeah, just a really, really good example of one of those New England style IPAs. But they've not called it that. Well, they've called it a Hazy IPA, Hazy India Pale Ale, but they've stopped short to call it a New England IPA. Let's rate it. It's really good. It's really good, really drinkable, really refreshing. 7% ABV. There's not an ounce of that kind of alcohol by volume coming through. It's all very well hidden away. Very good. Good stuff. I'm going to rate it. I really like that beer. I really, really like that beer. I give it a Stone the Crows. And that generally means between a 9 and a 10 out of 10. I'm going to go towards the top end of my scale here because I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed that beer. You can pick it up at Beer Bruvs, but I'm going to give it a solid, very solid 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!